What is going on, everybody? This is Chris down here in the Seacrest studio at Children's Hospital, Colorado. It is a wonderful, I think it's Tuesday still, which also happens to be this Seacrest studio's 9th birthday. I can't believe that. And we've gotten to spend a lot of time with a friend who's on the line right now. Maya, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hey, Maya. And Maya, you brought a friend along with you. Who is it?
Yes, Jay Pharoah.
Oh, my goodness. Jay Pharoah is with us today. That is awesome. All right, Maya, take it away.
So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for calling in. I have been so excited to talk with you.
Oh, no doubt. Thanks for having me.
So my first question for you is, when and how did you first discover your talent for doing impersonations?
Well, I first discovered it at the age of 6. It accidentally happened. It wasn't an accident. I was watching Aladdin, and I was impersonating Gilbert Gottfried's character Iago. So that was the first one. So that was what was that? 1993. Yep. And I've just been adding to the repertoire ever since then.
Oh, cool. So who are your biggest comedic influences, and who without fail always makes you crack up?
All right. So my biggest comedic influences, I have 5. I got Eddie Murphy, I've got Robin Harris, Bernie Mac, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle. And Richard Pryor is above all of them, but you wouldn't even. He's somewhere in the stratosphere of comedian. You can't even bring him down to earth because he changed the game so much. He was the first one to do what he did, and it kind of spawned a whole bunch of little geniuses. So I would say definitely those, and who never fails to make me laugh. And he's in my top 10, but Cat Williams. Cat Williams always makes me laugh no matter what. It's always funny with Cat Williams. So.
Oh, cool. So where do you find inspiration for your comedy?
Just walking around and living, you know what I mean? That's the best way to get material. It's just best way to get material is just to be out there in life and talking about everything that people can relate to because they're going through the same experiences. So you can't sit in a house or something or in a hole. You can't be holed up and come up and be a comedian because you don't have anything to bring from. They said art imitates life. So you get out there, you take a piece of life, you watch it, observe it, you go through it, and you talk about it. So yeah, just life.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. So when did you discover your love of acting?
8 years old. 8 years old. I did my first play, was Mice and Mozart. And I remember one of my friends, he became one of my best friends later, but his name was Jason Powell, and he was Mozart Amadeus. And he played the role fantastically. And I said to myself, I want to do that. I don't want to be in the chorus. I don't want to be in the chorus singing with the rest of the kids. I want to do that. I want to be the lead. I want to be the lead. So at 8 years old in second grade, that's when well, no, 8 years old. Yeah, 8 years old. And well, it was Mice and Mozart. Was it Mice and Mozart? That was third grade. Second grade was the Chinese New Year. That was my first one. Third grade was Mozart, and that's when I got the acting bug. And then the next year I did Pocahontas, and I was Powhatan, and I did not know my lines, and I had to get up in front of the whole PTA board and perform. And the kids in the back, they were feeding me lines as Powhatan because I didn't know them. And from that moment on, I said to myself, I'm never going to forget my lines. And my teacher who put me up to that, he came to a future production I did in 11th grade called Yankees. And 2 weeks before opening, the lead dropped out. So I got the part of the lead in that, and I memorized all the lines. And he came opening night. I didn't even know he was there. And after I performed and got off stage and I was signing autographs, he came up to me, he said, "I knew you could do it. I always knew you had it in you." So
Oh,
it was really,
wow.
yeah, it was really dope.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So you were a longtime cast member on Saturday Night Live.
Mhm.
What was your favorite part about working on SNL?
My favorite part about working on SNL was being able to come up with so much material so quickly, because that's what you had to do on a week-to-week basis. You always had to have fresh new material. So even in my stand-up, I was always used to swapping stuff out so quickly and coming up with things so quickly, just because of the environment that I was in. It kind of forced you to do that. So yeah, just the experience of that, and then all the camaraderie from that show, the different relationships cultivated throughout there. I would say that was my favorite part. Like, where even today, I run into people and it's like, "Hey Jay, how you doing?" Or "Yo, let's work on something." That's just because of SNL, because we already had worked with each other on SNL. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a great part of it.
Oh, cool. So what was the most challenging part of working on the show?
The most challenging part about being on SNL is auditioning for your job every week. You know what I'm saying? That's the hardest part of it. Your spot is not solidified on that show. You have to, every week, it's a new week, and you're pretty much like a fresh new cast member every week, and you have to continuously prove yourself. It's a challenge, and it's a good challenge, but it does become arduous at times when you've proven yourself over and over again, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you played Omar Howard, Rome's brother, on A Million Little Things,
Yeah.
which was one of my favorite shows. And I've actually interviewed a lot of the cast members, as well as DJ Nash and Gabriel Mann.
Mhm.
How did the opportunity to play Omar come about?
Well, I know DJ Nash. I had auditioned for him, actually for the part of Rome. So at first I auditioned for Rome, and they wanted to go a bit older with it. So I didn't get that role, but he told me, he said, "Man, we enjoyed your audition so much that I'm going to write you a part in the show." So after the audition for Rome, which I didn't get, and Romany is amazing, I'm glad he got that role. Perfect for it. I was written as Rome's brother, and I think that was the perfect role for me on the show. Do I wish that I had more on that show for that character? Yeah, but for what I did get a chance to do, it was really fun. And again, the camaraderie between me and Romany Malco is dope now. Like that's my big bro. You feel me? So just getting a chance to furthermore show a difference in acting range, which I believe that show did give me a chance to show even more. I mean, there were parts up there where we would be there were parts up there where we would have to cry, and my eyes would be puffy for hours because after take and take, I'm crying over and over and over again. But just showing those different tools in the box was a good opportunity for me. So yeah, I loved it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that I was obsessed with that show. Like, I watched it every single week. I did not miss an episode. So you've been in many different things, including the shows White Famous and Champaign, Illinois, and most recently you're in the movie The Blackening. Has there been a project or a character that you have related to the most?
Um, what character could I say I related to the most? I would say on SNL, probably DeWand, because it was like me just doing an impersonation of some of the older women in my church. And Principal Fry, of course, because he's definitely that was definitely one that kept getting brought back over and over again. As far as movies go, I believe that Cecil Holmes, the role I played in Spinning Gold, I think I related to that character the most because of his disposition, because of the way he was, because I'm so used to supporting people, so used to having folks' backs no matter what happens, being really loyal. And that's what that character was. And also the fact that he was a Christian, which I am too. I do struggle, of course. I do struggle. He didn't struggle as much as I struggle, but I struggle. So playing that character and then the level of drama that it had to it, I felt that. So definitely Cecil Holmes from Spinning Gold. And then Grandpa Elephant and Sing, just because it was me doing an impersonation of my own grandfather in that movie. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is there a movie or show that is your go-to when someone asks you for a recommendation on what to watch?
Well, I'm such a movie buff. I could recommend a lot of movies to people. However, the one movie that has stood out to me the most that I have watched over the last year has been The Woman King. And I would suggest anybody to go see that movie. I think that the Academy did them a disservice by not nominating them for anything. I think that the acting was great. You cared about every single character in that, even the bad guys, you cared about everybody. Everybody made you connect to them in that movie. And I think it was flawlessly done. I think that Viola Davis is an absolute monster. Meaning she's a heck of an actress. She can act the behind off. And if they do a second one, I hope to be in it. I really do.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So what inevitably makes you roll your eyes every time you hear it?
That's what she said. I hate that. That is the most overused, dumb, non-comedic, think they're a comedic phrase. It is that's what she said. It's just you want to smack somebody when you hear it. You like, yo, son, shut up. Like, don't say that. So that, and I can't even say rolling my eyes because I'm from the South, and my parents instilled a lot of respect in me. So I don't really like the idea of rolling eyes, even if women do it to me, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's just, I don't like it. I've stopped talking to people because they rolled their eyes. I don't like it. It sets off a trigger. I don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what subject are you totally unqualified in but could give a full-length TED Talk on?
Well, dang. How can you, if you don't know about something, how can you talk about it for an hour? That makes, well, I would say this, and I used to do it so I could talk about it. I do follow the culture, but if you ask me anything about battle rap, I will be able to go off and tell you everything. I can break everything down from setup to punchline to delivery to aggression of the artist. I could paint it for you. And I have done it before and I plan to hop back in it, but I don't do it right now, but I'm going to. So I would definitely say battle rap. That's something that I could talk your head off for days about that.
Oh, cool. So how do you recover from a joke that doesn't land how you wanted it to?
Easy, man. I would address that it didn't land like I wanted to, and I would just move on. I just move on to something I know that works. Like, that ain't even at this point. I've been doing comedy for like 2 decades now. So
Wow.
So it's like if something doesn't work, like that's just part of it. But as long as you have a whole bunch of other good dinner rolls that haven't been dropped on the ground yet, you're good. You know what I'm saying? You can still feed them when you got some fresh ones.
Yeah. So does that apply to how you handle other challenges in life?
Yeah, I would say you gotta have the mindset that, life is trial and error. So everything you try is not gonna work, but you're hoping that you hope that your instincts are on the pulse. So when you do try something, you'll at least get a little bit of whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I just think life is trial and error, and you can't be afraid. You can't just sit back and say, oh, I'm not going to try something because I think I'm going to fail at it. No, you have to try it first and see if you're good at it. You have to put it out there, because if you don't, you'll never know. You could be a professional soccer player, and you've never played soccer before, but that ball, you just have a natural talent for it. So I'm all about trying stuff. So I think try as much as you can. And if you fail and fall on your face, that's okay, because that's what life is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my final question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero, and why?
Who do I consider to be a real life superhero? I would say Denzel Washington. And the reason I say he's a real superhero is because out of all of the actors that I have watched, out of all of them that I admire, Denzel is he's a selfless entity, meaning he cares more about other people than he does about himself. And that's super important, especially if you're a public figure. There are so many people who are great, but they're only great because they're worried about themselves. Denzel is great because he not only worries about himself, he worries about other people around him. And he gives away the game and tries to inspire and build up the community. So folks around my age, the generations that are even younger, they have a full cemented mindset that they can do it because they've seen somebody else do it. And not only can they do it and they can help other people while they're doing it. So I think Denzel is just he's a superhero, and he's going to go down as the greatest actor of all time. Of course, I would say an honorable mention goes to Sam Rockwell, because Sam Rockwell he's my favorite. He's my favorite. I love Sam Rockwell. But Denzel Washington, overall, he's a superhero because he cares about everybody else in addition to himself.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I haven't seen like a ton of his movies, but I do really like Denzel Washington. So
pull up whatever, yo. He speaks at commencement speeches, like even when he's giving interviews, when he's just talking, he's putting jewels out there. He's putting jewels out there to try to help people, not just dropping jewels about himself. He drops jewels and he tries to help other people. And that's what makes Denzel great. That's the difference. That's why he'll always be the greatest actor of all time. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I had so much fun talking to you. So thank you.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun too. Thank you.
Jay, thanks for making the time today. If you ever find yourself in Denver and you want to visit the Seacrest studios here and the kids at the hospital, you got an open invite.
Oh, for sure. That would be fun, man.
Awesome. All right. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, sir.